America's first breed. You know, in 1789, George Washington became the first president of the United States. The Constitution was signed into law, and in Springfield, Massachusetts, a bay colt was born who would become America's original breed of horse, the Morgan horse. The only breed known to evolve from a single stallion, and would come to be known as Justin Morgan's horse. The colt's parentage was somewhat of a mystery, but it was thought that he was sired by a British thoroughbred. While the details are lost to history, his style, his beauty, endurance, and intelligence guaranteed that he would not be forgotten. With the unparalleled versatility he could do after a day's work in the fields, he could still be fresh enough to trot out, run in those challenge races of the day, under saddle or in harness. He was also very stylish, had a great way of going, also made him the horse of choice for the most dignified gentry. His popularity continued to grow as his offspring displayed these same remarkable characteristics. The Morgan's accomplishments would become legendary as they contributed immeasurably to the development of an emerging nation. In the mid-1800s, trotting races were the rage, and the Morgans became America's star athletes in the country's premier sport. Ethan Allen, the world champion, became a Currier and Ives' favorite subject. As the western frontier expanded, the Morgan influence spread as they proved to be reliable and enduring mounts for the western ranches. And in the Gold Rush days, a herd of 125 Morgans were taken to California. The same traits that had made the Morgan the people's choice endeared them to both the Union and Confederate armies in the Civil War. They were built for strength, speed, and endurance, proud and fearless. 1,100 Morgans left Vermont. Fewer than 400 came home, but they were to leave an indelible memory of accomplishment of this war. Perhaps the most famous was General Sheridan's Renzi, immortalized in the famous poem. Renzi is permanently on display in the Smithsonian. In the early 20th century, with the advent of the automobile, the Morgan, as well as other breeds, began to diminish in numbers. However, in 1907, the United States government established the U.S. Morgan Horse Farm in Vermont for the purpose of breeding Morgan horses in perpetuity. This began a renaissance for the Morgan breed. Now, over 200 years later, the amazing potency of Justin Morgan lives on, and the Morgan has contributed to the development of another American breed, many other breeds like the quarter horse, the American saddlebred, Tennessee walking horse, and the American standardbred. Morgans can be seen today as pleasure and saddle and driving horses at horse shows in almost every discipline. Ladies and gentlemen, the stallion Mizrahi is well qualified to enact the role of figure. The Justin Morgan horse here today. Mizrahi is a 2006 unanimous world champion Morgan stallion, and he also is considered one of the leading sires of his generation, enacting the role of the young Justin Morgan and Mizrahi's yearling son. Meet George Jetson, whose dam is the world champion Morgan mare, Sweet Georgia Brown. Both horses are presented by members of the Hazen family, who own the Morgan breeding and training operation, Claymore Farm, right here in Lexington. He was beginning in the 1850s. The Morgans are still the speedsters of today. And here comes